Good afternoon, YouTube. Happy New Year's. We survived the holidays. Um, it was awesome. I took a trip to Mexico, and I celebrated on January 1st. I celebrated 5 years off of heroin. The last time I shot up. Um, so those who don't know me, my name is Frank Villa. I'm out here in Tucson, Arizona. I'm a recovered heroin an opiate addict of 17 years. I just celebrated 5 years off the needle. I'm also diagnosed with PTSD and bipolar, and I do not take any pharmaceutical meds. I create these videos just to show what's possible when you believe, when you find your one word, when you use all these different tools that I like to share. Well, for me, I found art and expression, what I'm doing now, as a way to conquer my fear of change, my fear of always wanting to hide. So for many years, I was a drug dealer. My father was involved with the Mexican drug cartels out here in Arizona. So I was raised in the early '90s when it was when there was a big drug explosion. Anyways, that was and I ended up following in the footsteps and got into some dirt. Eventually, along the way, my brother ended up shooting himself playing Russian roulette when he was 20. I was 21 years old, and I lost it, man. I couldn't figure out a way to take it out on anybody because he did it to himself. So there was nobody to take that revenge, that hate out on. And so white art, white art therapy. How did I find it, and why do I continue to do it? And really it has to do with childhood. So I suffered like I said, I'm diagnosed with PTSD and bipolar. My mother suffered a lot of domestic violence while she was pregnant, and ended up having a heart surgery by the time I was 4. By the time I was like 6 or 7, I think I got molested a couple times. And like I said, my brother was a gangbanger, so we had drive-bys. I got jumped a couple times. A lot of violence, and we started drinking at a very young age, and just got crazy. But anyways, like I said, it was a very very chaotic childhood. I went to like 4, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 elementary schools, 3 high schools. I think the only stable 2 years was probably in junior high, which is middle school. So it was a very, very chaotic childhood that I continued through adulthood. I kept the chaos going, with not even knowing, with all the decisions that I was making, all the emotions that I was feeling, was just to repeat a program. And I like to say program because I did a lot of research on our brain and our personalities and stuff like that. So I came up with some I heard or I read something that our first 7 years of our life are basically the times that we're being programmed by. What do I mean by program is that we're absorbing all the emotions, all the feelings, everything. We're learning from our surroundings, from our parents, from what they're listening to, from what they're eating, you name it. It's we're getting programmed in how to react to life, to stress, to joy, to stressful situations. All this is getting programmed and how we're gonna react, and that reaction comes to through our nervous system, through either the fight or flight system, the fawn, the you play possum, play dead. Our nervous system goes through all these different phases as we're experiencing life, really experiencing life. So along the way, I had a psychotic psychosis, a drug induced psychosis. I was shooting up meth for like 20 days straight, every day, twice a day. Um, and I had a spiritual awakening, man. And and I really wanted to find out what was going on. So I ended up going to a local mental health place and started taking all their classes. Started learning about bipolar, about PTSD, about the nervous system, about emotions, about grief, all these things. All these things I started consuming and really started learning. And that's when I learned about how early trauma affects our adulthood and basically is gonna set a program that we're probably gonna follow for the rest of our lives until we change it. And that's how I found art. I had gone through the whole curriculum at this place, and I was starting to get bored. And that's when I, through synchronicity, through signs, through random people, through trusting my intuition, I met this random lady in the hall in the lobby one day, and I think I had shown somebody a couple of my little doodles that I do, and they were like, "Oh my God, you're an artist, blah blah blah," and some lady overheard, and she just looked at me and she goes, I don't even know you, and I don't even know why I have to tell you this, but you should really look into this place, Art Awakenings. It's a local mental health. It's an art based mental health place clinic here in Tucson, Arizona, that that offers art therapy, and they also have a safe place where you can practice this art. And not only that, they supply you with materials and all this stuff, because a lot of us are coming off from the streets. A lot of us live in the streets, so it's hard to get resources and all this stuff. So when I found this place, and they even gave us lunch and all this stuff, it was like I was excited. I had found art while I was in rehab, and so this rehab was a mindfulness based rehab, and they taught us all about dialectal behavioral therapy, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and these are all different ways of looking at our thoughts, and learning about how short our fuse are, and what do we do, how to react, how do we feel to pressure, how do we feel to thoughts. All this stuff is just learning how to go back into our bodies. And so the course was broken up. Some days we would be taught. It'll be like going to school, and then part of the day would be like art. So one day was art, one day was music, another day was all these different things added on to the curriculum that we were doing. In a sense, it gives you like the opportunity to seek, right? In the Bible it says, "Seek and you shall find." But how do we find healing? How do we find what tools work for us? Well, we gotta seek, man. We just gotta keep looking to see what works for us. And one thing that I learned along the way was because I really first started rehab like in 2013, and I relapsed all the way until like 2017. And I had to go to a second rehab. The first one was in Mexico. The second one was here in the United States, and the second one was the mindfulness based one, and that's where I learned all about the brain, and how the brain can rewire itself, how you can really retrain the nervous system to get out of that fight or flight mode, and really find that homeostasis that allows the body to heal and to rewire itself. And that's how I found art. And so like part of my bipolar or the PTSD, it's hard to stay still, it's hard to focus, because you gotta imagine, once you're raised in danger, you're constantly searching for that danger. And when everything seems calm, then to somebody that's been raised in danger, that's danger, because it's unfamiliar. Yeah, even calmness, we will interpret it as danger. because it's unfamiliar to the old program, right? The first 7 years of danger, of constant chaos. So the brain wires itself to constantly be in that state, to always think like that, like everything is out to hurt us, that everybody's out to get to hurt us. That's why we get all paranoid and all that stuff. And it's not until we start going against the grain that we change, that we get to rewire a new way of thinking. Thus, we get a new way of being. You know what I'm saying? So I highly encourage you to do your research, and if you can find an art based therapy, I highly recommend that you explore that. If not, just grab a notebook, a paper, anything, and just start doodling. It helps us with letting go of thoughts. It helps us with being able to sit still. It helps us with letting go and not focusing on the past or catastrophizing about the future, you know, because the only way that we can heal is right here, right now, right? The only way we can get that new life is in the now, you know, because tomorrow never really comes and yesterday's gone, you know. And what do I mean by tomorrow never comes is that day that we wake up is that's all we got is that day, right? So in the sense, the future never really arrives. It's the future we get to create it today, by not focusing on the past. Thus, we get energy to create that new reality, that new future. And the best way to do it is through expression, man. Well, for me personally, and that was because I was always, drug dealing out into, always hiding, always paranoid that I'm gonna get busted or I'm gonna get jacked or I'm gonna get robbed. I'm gonna get set up. Always, always, always hiding, always scared. You know what I mean? Even carrying that gun, I mean, that doesn't make you hard. It doesn't make you anything. It's just really reaffirms the fear of getting of accepting the consequences of our actions in a sense. So I highly encourage you to yeah, man, add some color. You never know. I never knew that I could do any of this stuff. I make sculptures. I make just find random objects. I write. And it's been a saving grace. It's allowed me to reach 5 years without shooting up. 5 years, man. After 17 years, it's a miracle, man. They happen. They happen daily. They happen all the time. And just focus on that. Focus on your healing. Believe in that higher power, and the messengers come, man. The people that need to open the doors come. The doors open and others shut. So I hope this helps. May you have a beautiful, blessed day. And keep smiling, keep shining, and do you. Express yourself the best way that you can, because you never know. Your story might inspire the next president, the next doctor, the next scientist, you know. So do your best, and much love, man. Never give up. I believe in you.